Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our sixth Premier Challenge this season. I believe it's the last of the Premier Challenges in the Sceptile season. My name's Isaac, and to my next to me here we have Lo Wai Yin. Say hi.
Hi.
And we'll be commentating the top 8 match between Yoko and Gavin right here today. Say something.
Oh, and well, these players we actually have like about 32 players, and these top 8 are the creme de la creme for right now, because it seems like our tournaments have shrunk in size drastically from 90 players to 32. So only the really hardcore players are playing nowadays.
Yep. Even though the only these so many players have made the top 8. As a participant in the tournament earlier, I could really feel that the level of play here today is actually quite a lot higher than it was before. Even against players who had like relatively pitiful records of perhaps 3-2, their teams were solid and not stuff better than what we're used to seeing. And okay, looks like we have both players' teams up on stream now. And straight away we see quite a few interesting Pokemon on stream today with like a Porygon Z and a Lapras on Yoko's side.
And Smeargle and a Clefable on Gavin's side. In fact, I think both of these players have a bit of a solid core, but with unorthodox choices in terms of the other team members.
Indeed. Clefable and Smeargle aren't exactly uncommon Pokemon in this format, but it's quite rare to see them next to each other on the same team, especially since both of them play so passively. Even more so with that Milo tick on Gavin's team right at the bottom. Not really used to seeing so many more defensive Pokemon, especially since Milotic and Clefable tend to play relatively similar roles in firing off Ice Beams perhaps to counter Landorus. And on Yoko's side, that Porygon Z is probably the first time I've ever seen a Porygon Z in VGC14. I mean VGC15 actually, pardon me. It's not really a Pokemon we've ever seen in VGC before. So it'll be really interesting to see what it brings to the table on Yoko's team, and can't wait to see how that works out.
And we're going straight into the battle. Now, definitely, Gavin has to be, Yoko has to be careful of Gavin's potential Kangaskhan, but it seems like he has chosen to lead with Landorus and Talonflame instead. Up against Yoko, Sylveon, and Porygon Z.
Yeah, we see Porygon Z coming out straight away, not showing its download, so hinting that its ability is adaptability. Probably going to fire off a Hyper Beam or Tri Attack sometime this battle. That's pretty much the only real reason anyone will run Porygon Z anyway.
Yeah, so it's probably a Choice Scarf variant, but Landorus is actually a faster Pokemon than Porygon Z if it's a Choice Scarf as well, isn't it?
Possibly. We won't really know for sure. Though Landorus does naturally outspeed Porygon Z. Porygon Z sits at base 90 speed, while Landorus sits at base 91.
And Yoko decides to withdraw soon her Sylveon in favor of Salamence, probably trying to fire off the Intimidate on Talonflame and Landorus, maybe expecting a double target or some manner to take out Porygon Z before it launches an attack. But Gavin goes for the Tailwind, presumably setting up for potential Smeargle perhaps.
We see Tri Attack coming off, doing a ton of damage, taking out Gavin's Talonflame. Not really expecting to see so much damage from a seemingly paltry base 80 attack.
But you did mention that it is adaptability after all.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to actually take out Talonflame though.
And we see that Gavin's Landorus is actually a Life Orb variant, so that will explain why Gavin set up the Tailwind. He probably is going to intend to just force his way through with a lot of powerful attacks here on out.
And excellent play on his part, seems to put him in a really good position now. Both Salamence and Porygon Z have received some degree of chip damage, making them really pretty prone to being wiped out anytime by whatever Gavin chooses to bring in. Though he does choose to bring in Smeargle, so remains to be seen whether that Smeargle, he's actually going to be able to get any kills next turn.
It's very possible he just wants to get Dark Void off right now, and then after that continue pressuring with Landorus. Although that Intimidate is going to make it a bit slightly harder for Landorus.
Puts him in a bit of an awkward position here though, since the only real thing he can do perhaps is to go for Dark Void to take advantage of the Tailwind.
Ooh,
okay, we see Spiky Shield come out. Wonder what he's going for there. Okay, we see Yoko protecting with her Salamence, probably trying to scout as well and stall out a bit of tailwind. Rock Slide coming off, they're gonna hit the Porygon Z. Probably not gonna do too much.
Yeah, it's probably not going to do too much, which actually makes me very curious as to what Gavin's trying to do. Because if it wasn't going, if it didn't flinch, that Porygon Z might have fired off an Ice Beam for all we know. We have no confirmation that it is actually Choice Scarf. We only have our best assumption.
Indeed, probably only Gavin really knows whether. Only Gavin really has an educated guess as to whether Porygon Z is holding on to the Choice Scarf or if it's just another item.
Yes.
It means we have to wait and see. Though once again, pretty much exactly the same position, just with Porygon Z having taken a little bit of damage.
And Salamence unable to protect.
I really don't like having Smeargle on the field at this point, though. I don't think Smeargle's going to be doing much at all.
In fact, it seems to be wasting Talonflame's sacrifice. The Tailwind turns are running out, and I don't think Smeargle is doing much over here.
Okay, but you do see the Dark Void come off. Is it going to connect with both of Yoko's Pokemon? We'll have to see. And I think it does.
Porygon is asleep, but is the Salamence asleep? And the Salamence is asleep.
Okay, not a bad position at all. Yoko's pretty much unable to do anything right now. And Gavin's going to be able to just fire off another Rock Slide, pick up either 2 knockouts or chip damage onto whatever Yoko decides to bring
Then again, Gavin's Smeargle is probably not the Choice Scarf variant. I mean, obviously he's not Choice Scarf. So for all we know, he might be trying to go for some sort of setup here, like Geomancy.
That'll be interesting to see and probably make the most sense. Oh, but we see
the Salamence
waking up immediately, getting off a Protect. And that's actually going to be pretty big because I believe Tailwind expires this turn and next turn Salamence is going to be faster than both Smeargle and Landorus.
And we see that while Porygon is out there, Salamence is still capable of threatening, especially now that Landorus is about 75% health.
Oh, but that being said, Porygon Z did do a pretty impressive job of taking out that Talonflame and buying a bit of time. A lot more than I expected it to see do, honestly.
Well, technically, anything could have probably taken out the Talonflame, to be honest.
Not really, not with neutral damage, 80 base power move.
The Porygon Z has adaptability and it also has access to Thunderbolt as well, so it might have taken down from
well, anyway, Yoko decides to bring in her Sylveon. Probably going to be slower than both Smeargle and Landorus. Perhaps suggesting that she's actually carrying Sleep Talk. That'll make it quite a interesting thing to see.
Spiky Shield from Smeargle. As we see, Smeargle does not have Moody, so Gavin trying to protect his Smeargle a bit, but it ends up with him losing his Landorus from a critical hit, double edge from Salamence.
Not sure the crit actually mattered, but either way, Salamence goes down. Smeargle's going to protect, and what are we going to see from Sylveon?
Hyper Voice. Yoko's playing very straight here right now. I would assume that the last one is Kangaskhan from Gavin's side, and with Lapras not being that fast, it could be that Gavin could just go for the Dark Void, fake out, and then set up his Kangaskhan to sweep.
Indeed, right now it just looks like it's pretty much Gavin's game. Smeargle and Kangaskhan are both faster than both of Yoko's Pokemon. Lapras not going to enjoy taking any of Kangaskhan's fighting attacks, particularly low kick. And Sylveon just doesn't really like facing off Kangaskhan in general with its low physical defense.
Yes.
And Smeargle's faster than both of Yoko's Pokemon. It's just going to be able to fire off Dark Voids freely. Not a pretty thing to ever face off against.
Then again, I suppose since this is best of 3 now, Yoko could take the time to actually scout out what Kangaskhan and Smeargle might have.
Well, Kangaskhan fires us off Fake Out onto Lapras, and I believe we're going to see Dark Void coming out. Yep. Dark Void hitting. Does it hit? Crucially, must hit Sylveon this turn. Does it hit Sylveon?
Oh, but it seems like the Lapras avoided the attack, but Sylveon fell asleep.
Pretty much a perfect turn for Gavin there, even despite the miss. Nothing. He doesn't really lose anything, and just puts him in a position to seal off the game effortlessly.
That's quite true. Barring a surprise from Yoko, like just so.
The only way I see Yoko going to be recovering from this game is perhaps Lapras just dodging the next Dark Void, firing off a Shirko and a Kangaskhan or something.
Yeah,
that
would probably Oh, as you see that Dark Void does miss Lapras. Power-up punch coming out from Kangaskhan, probably assuming that the Lapras will
bit of a dangerous play here, Gavin. Perhaps risking a bit too much is going to open himself up to situations he doesn't really want to be in right now.
For example, if Lapras fires off an Ice Beam and freezes the Kangaskhan, if Sylveon wakes up the next turn, that would be very bad for him.
We're not exactly sure what Sylveon's item is yet to anyway. Oh, we see Lapras going for the Perish Song.
I'm not sure whether that is actually the best move because with +2 Kangaskhan on the field, it's going to be very hard for Yoko to stall out Parrish.
Possibly she didn't expect to see the power punch coming up and anticipated low kick instead, which in this case might actually give her a fighting chance, but...
To be honest, I think even with the power punch, if she cannot get rid of the Smeargle, she's not going to be able to...
Yeah, I don't think there's any way out for her now. Oh, but Smeargle transforms into...
The Kangaskhan. Sylveon. Oh, okay. Trying to sponge up all the special attacks that Yoko can throw at it, I suppose. And maybe even scouting out what the Sylveon set is.
Yeah, that's... Actually, I will believe that would make more sense, and if that's the case, that's quite a brilliant play here, especially in this best of 3 format. Since I don't really think there's any way Gavin's gonna lose with his Kangaskhan right now at +2 against Lapras and Sylveon. Especially since we've seen that Lapras is probably running a more defensive Perish Song variant rather than the standard Assault Vest or offensive sets with Yoko, which would be the worst case scenario, but doesn't look like it's gonna happen here.
But for some reason, Gavin went for Power Up Punch twice, did it? No, he once.
No, once.
No, he's going
for it
Power
twice.
Punch again. I'm not exactly sure whether that was the right play because I think Lapras might be able to survive that.
And it does, just as we suspected. Really wondering why he hasn't picked off Sylveon yet. Okay, but Hyper Voice is gonna pick off Lapras anyway, doing a reasonable amount of damage to this Yoko Sylveon.
But does the Sylveon wake up? Yes, it does. And Hyper Beam does
Hyper
come
Beam.
out. It'll probably take out Kangaskhan.
Showing us that Yoko's Sylveon is not actually choice specs.
Oh! Wait, but what now? It comes down. Yoko might actually win this Perish Song. Down to the last turn. Oh, but yes, Yoko can't protect.
She really needed that Sylveon to perhaps wake up a lot earlier. If she did, she probably would have been able to seal off this game, especially with Hyper Beam's damage on the Kangaskhan.
That's true.
Close game, perhaps a bit closer than it needed to be, especially with Gavin's slightly questionable plays.
If Yoko can exploit those plays, if Gavin continues making those plays, she might actually be able to pull herself out from
perhaps if Sylveon had gone down a lot earlier, Gavin would probably have won a much safer game. So.
Yes.
At least he got valuable information as to what Yoko's Sylveon set is, and we know it's not specs. That's always a good thing to know.
There's always a Pixie Plate option.
Yeah, so decent game, and looks like Gavin has a pretty strong fighting chance based on the matchups we're seeing here.
Gavin definitely has the advantage in terms of matchup unless Yoko unless Yoko somehow manages to get the Salamence or Metagross behind a sub or something, and Salamence maybe to start spreading damage before the Smeargle actually hits the field.
Power Up Punch being revealed is probably going to shake up Yoko's team decisions a bit. Perish Song Lapras, actually no trap. Perish Song Lapras probably doesn't want to face off against a Kangaskhan with Power Up Punch instead of low kick. Since Power Up Punch tends to make Kangaskhan a lot more threatening under Perish Song set.
But at the same time, Power Up Punch is kind of more exploitable than low kick. I mean, it does less damage in the beginning. So if Dark Void misses, if Gavin has terrible luck, he's going to end up in a very bad position from the Lapras.
Indeed, but the big thing here is really that Yoko has to bring perhaps some of her faster mons instead of her Sylveon and Lapras, which make her really vulnerable to Gavin's Smeargle's Dark Void.
So at this point, maybe Infernape might show its face, because Infernape itself has a lot of interesting moves. Like if Infernape has Feint, that Smeargle is going to be pretty much...
Actually, depending on what Yoko's Metagross set is, I wouldn't be surprised if she brings it.
And goes for a sub, right?
Probably would give her quite a good matchup here. Even if it's not in its mega form, still gonna have some use in this matchup.
I would assume that Yoko's a bit worried about bringing Metagross and Infernape versus Landorus and Talonflame. And that might be her main reason why she has not brought those two to that.
Seems here that I would actually have to say now, looking at both of these players' teams again, that Gavin has a definite advantage here just based on team composition alone. So
his core is a lot more stable.
It's going to be a bit hard for Yoko to come around.
She needs to make the big plays. She needs to make the big plays. She needs to call the leads and she needs to make the plays immediately to get any offensive advantage.
I'm actually really tempted to attribute this to Yoko's slightly questionable choices in Lapras and Porygon-Z. Unorthodox for sure, but seems like they're actually hurting her team a lot more than helping her. Don't really see their niche. Haven't really seen their niche yet, so perhaps I'm just poorly informed. But either way, I just to me they just look like questionable gimmicks that aren't really going to do much in this matchup.
And Yoko goes with the same needs again, or rather, yeah, she goes with the same needs again.
No, she brought Sylveon and Porygon Z in the first game.
Okay, she goes with Salamence and Porygon and against Gavin's Landorus T and Clefable. What do you think
Salamence really doesn't want to be sitting in front of Clefable right now. Clefable's going to be able to redirect its double edges, fire off ice beams, or if not, the better case scenario for Yoko, firing off Moonblast towards it.
Not mention the Rock Slide from the Landorus is going to keep threatening both Salamence and Porygon here.
I mean, Clefable's redirection is actually pretty crucial here, facing off against Porygon Z. Porygon Z is not a Pokemon with plentiful selection of spread moves it can run.
Yes.
So it's probably going to be able to defend Landorus T for at least a turn or two here.
And that might be all it needs. Landorus T, once it gets enough damage off onto Salamence, will open the way for Smeargle and Kangaskhan, most likely.
Okay, we see Salamence going for the Mega Evolve here. Despite its attack drop, which is going to weaken its double edge. Going to see how much that's going to do. It goes for the Protect as anticipated. No real surprise there. Possibly scouting out what Clefable is going to do. Follow me. Not really a surprise either. Okay.
It could be that Gavin is trying to just... Oh, but Hyper Beam misses Clefable. Rock Slide coming out.
That's actually pretty big. Hyper Beam might have been able to take out...
Yes, it might have been able to...
Would have at least done a ton of damage to Clefable, which would combine with Salamance's attacks. Expecting Salamence to run a Hyper Voice would make sense for this team.
Yes.
Would have been able to take out Clefable by this turn, so...
Then again, with Salamance's high base defense, it could be that Yoko, if she goes for it again, she might be able to actually take out Clefable and do damage to Landorus.
It definitely switches things up a bit for Gavin. It's no longer in too advantageous a position. He's going to have to sacrifice probably at least Clefable in order to actually get any damage off this turn. So Hyper Beam is going to connect. Oh, but it goes into the Landorus. Probably going to take it out in one hit. Not expecting that to survive, and it goes down. Clefable here opted to attack instead. Probably going to see Ice Beam or Moonblast hitting towards Salamence.
It could go for a Thunder Wave as well, for all we know. Although that's
Clefable taking a ton of damage there.
Yeah.
Probably actually due to its ability Unaware, which in this case is hurting it more than helping it.
Oh, goes for the Minimize! That's actually pretty dangerous here, especially paired up with that Smeargle.
Now turns this game into a match of coin tossers, really.
Yes, it does. Smeargle coming out. Obviously, Clefable now is capable of going for the Follow Me, and Salamence might not be able to do enough, might not even be able to hit it to do any damage. Smeargle getting off Dark Void.
Feels like a mistake now going for the Hyper Beam the previous turn, since this leaves Porygon Z completely helpless, prone to being Dark Voided and put to sleep.
I wouldn't say it was a mistake to go for a Hyper Beam. I think it might have been a mistake to go for Landorus T.
Yeah, well, I guess that's just what happens when you play Hyper Beam, though. You put yourself in this kind of positions.
You have to make very good choices. Clefable goes for the Follow Me as anticipated. The Salamence used Double Edge. And does it hit? And yes, it hits. Does it take out Clefable? That's the important question here. And it does.
It does. As mentioned earlier, I actually think that in this case, Clefable's ability Unaware is hurting it more than helping it.
Yes.
Because due to it causing Clefable to ignore Salamance's attack drop.
Yes.
Would have Clefable would have been probably able to survive that those two double edges had it perhaps rerun Magic Guard instead.
If it had been Cute Charm or Magic Guard. Regardless, despite the fact that Yoko is up 4-2, Gavin actually still has a fighting chance in this, especially now that his Kangaskhan's in without being intimidated. Smeargle is still ready to go for maybe a transform. He has all the advantage here.
Kangaskhan pretty much has free reign right now, which is really scary. Since I believe both of Yoko's Pokemon have to take
one turn of sleep, yes.
Turn of sleep, how did they sleep last turn? Porygon Z for sure. I can't.
But was recharging the previous turn,
okay, both of them want to take a turn of sleep now. Kangaskhan's going to be able to set up effortlessly. And most scary of all, Smeargle's going to be able to transform into the Kangaskhan at +2. Since Kangaskhan's Smeargle, that's assuming Kangaskhan is faster than Smeargle.
And don't forget that Smeargle, given the fact that it's obviously no choice scarf, I suppose it could be a focus sash. So if it does transform into Kangaskhan, we'll be essentially seeing +2.
But we see Gavin going for the Sucker Punch on Porygon Z. Not really sure what he's wanting to do there. Power Punch would have picked up the KO actually.
Unless
perhaps he didn't want to risk. No, but Porygon Z hasn't slept yet.
It doesn't make any. Maybe Gavin just wants to clear the field as soon as possible.
I don't agree with that play at all.
Or something.
He had the opportunity to go for the transform, giving him effectively 2 megas.
Yes.
He could have set up with Kangaskhan on Porygon Z, but chooses not to go for it
Yeah.
instead, and right now
He
he's
might
in not
actually
really
pay for it.
in much of a
Settlements-
better position right now.
Yeah, Settlements in itself is obviously going to be faster than Kangaskhan. If it does wake up now, Kangaskhan might be in trouble. We are not sure what kind of spread Kangaskhan
Gavin could be in a lot of trouble depending on what happens now. Porygon Z gonna sleep. Okay. Does Salamence wake up? Salamence does wake up, and we
Goes
see the
for the
Giga
Giga
Impact
Wow.
coming off onto the Kangaskhan. Is that gonna take it out?
Yes,
it
it
is!
does.
And effectively, Yoko has pretty much sealed out the game. She could have lost right there.
Yeah, she could have lost right there, but now, well, to be fair, I suppose Gavin could transform Smeargle into something, and then after that start attacking with that Pokemon. But he has to choose very carefully
Well, but
because
he just can't help but feel that Gavin just effectively threw this game away.
Yes,
he had
he
it
did.
locked there. Perfect
then-
opportunity to
yes.
give himself a Kangaskhan at +2 and a Smeargle that would transform either to a Mega Salamence with, as you can see from above, obscene amounts of power.
Yes.
But instead he threw it away, and now he's lost
left
his
with
game.
Smeargle.
We're gonna have to see probably lost this game actually. We'll
Yes,
see.
he probably did. Unless that element has hyper voice. then-
Although we have seen now that his Yoko's Porygon Z did move before her Salamence, pretty much a clear indication that we're
Choice
looking at a
Max?
Choice Scarf Porygon
choice
Z over
scarf.
here.
Yeah, choice scarf.
So Porygon Z just needs to fire off. Oh wait, it can't fire off a Hyper Beam now.
Well,
Hard to imagine Gavin throwing, winning this either way though. No,
especially with two Pokemon that Yoko hasn't revealed yet.
yep. Really unfortunate there. He goes for the Giga Impact. Okay.
I guess he's just
Perhaps he's thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
He's just going for the grand finale.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't really have much of an option. Double Edge would have killed him. At least this
maybe Yoko
doesn't take him out, take himself out from recoil.
Maybe Yoko's Yoko just doesn't have hyper voice. so-
But Infernape coming in, Infernape carrying Fake Out at least. So that's about it. Next
Yeah.
game. Once again, I just can't help but emphasize just how unfortunate this match turned out for Gavin, since he just, as a result of him choosing to perhaps make really questionable plays that turn, wasting it.
Yes. In fact, I feel like I just can't explain the Sucker Punch at all.
Yeah, Power Punch would have been clearly the better move there.
Even
Power
if you-
Punch
yeah.
with a transform. Going for a second Dark Void just seemed really
I mean, he was
unnecessary.
already 4-2 down, and then it felt like he just seemed to be playing with the assumption that he could still get
Yeah,
himself
but
out.
4-2 against +2 Kangaskhan isn't exactly a 4-2, you know what I mean? It's
but it wasn't a
very
+2
precarious
Kangaskhan,
situation
so
even for the player with 4 Pokemon. Especially since 2 of those 4 Pokemon were sound asleep.
Yes, especially since they didn't even take their first turn of sleep just yet.
Well, here we are. Now we're gonna see the
Third match.
rather unnecessary third match right now.
I mean, in a way, I guess now we can see whether Yoko has learned from her mistakes, whether she can really adapt and maybe seize the victory.
Yeah, it's hard to judge from that previous game, given that she was in such a dangerous position.
Yes.
Perhaps her new choices are a lot more effective than we might imagine.
And to be fair, if Hyper Beam had hit the Clefable the very first turn, it would have been out of the equation entirely.
True. She really does have a bit more of a fighting chance than before, so this third game sure to be interesting.
Yes, and let's not forget that Yoko has been in top cut for a long time. So compared to Gavin, she may be able to maintain her cool over the three battles.
Experience tends to be a really defining factor in best of 3.
Yes.
Indeed.
And Gavin, maybe now with a loss that intense, he might just have his mental stability a bit shaken.
All those psychological tactics.
Yep.
Well,
Best of 3 isn't
in a way,
just...
I do have to agree with Yoko's decision to bring in Infernape. I think that might actually make quite a big difference, especially if it's Sash.
Yes.
Probably would be kind of ridiculous to run anything but Sash on Infernape
In
such a
fact,
team.
if you think about it, Yoko's team is very hyper offense. For all we know, that Infinite might be running phase, but
But that being said, Porygon Z did do quite an impressive job
it did.
earlier.
Considering that nobody actually sees Porygon Z a lot, so people have a tendency to ignore it.
Wouldn't be surprised if a lot of our players here didn't actually know what kind had a rough estimate of what Porygon Z's base stats were. So
I have no idea what
that could win
Porygon Z's
games,
base stats
indeed.
are.
Can we see Gavin switching it up again with Kangaskhan and Landoras against Yoko's Lapras and Porygon Z?
Okay, this
Interesting. Quite a really interesting lead actually.
Yes.
Not really sure what Yoko is gonna be able to pull off there.
Yes, we already know that Gavin's Kangaskhan is a power-up punch, so it evidently cannot take out either Porygon Z or Lapras.
But that being said, Gavin is in a position to
Go for
set
the
up
fake
quite
out.
easily here. He could just fire fake on the Porygon Z. That's gonna do
But
a ton with Porygon Z's low
But he
physical
doesn't
defense.
want to get. He doesn't want to just fake out or power punch. He needs to be aware that both that Porygon Z does have that hyper beam, and Lapras is still threatening the Landers with his
Yeah, it's
Ice
quite
attack.
a crucial thing here. The knockout onto Porygon Z is just within reach, very tempting, but if he does choose to go for it, he's gonna potentially lose out a lot, like what's gonna happen now is we see Salamence coming in.
Intimidating both of Gavin's physical attackers. That's a very good switch from Yoko.
Would have been crucial if he went for the power-up punch though, we'll see.
Yes.
He might be able to turn things around. Again, despite Yoko's pretty good play over here. Gonna see what Kangaskhan goes for. Oh, but it goes for the fake out.
Probably on the Porygon Z, yes.
Bit of a wasted fake out there since it's just gonna do chip Salamence slightly. While Kangaskhan takes an Intimidate. Oh, but Rock Slide comes off with the Life Orb. It's probably gonna do quite a sizable chunk to both of Yoko's Pokemon. Bringing Salamence down into the red, which puts it in Sucker Punch kill range.
Yes, that's actually. Oh, but Freeze Strike comes out from Lapras. Probably take out Landers? Yes, it does. Salamence, not very useful here now.
Salamence sitting at such low HP is really bad for Gavin.
Yes, it is. As much as I can see why Yoko wanted to bring Salamence in, I'm not sure whether that justifies what
we
happened.
see Milotic coming in. Bit late. Not gonna be able to pick up any competitive boosts anymore.
Yeah, I mean, now both players are still a bit iffy. I mean, Gavin still has his Kangaskhan, still can set up Power Punch. The Salamence is not going to prove much of a threat. And Lapras itself, Lapras and Milotic are both bulky waters. You're not going to do a lot of damage.
Milotic doesn't actually like facing off Lapras a bit at all. Lapras could potentially have Water Absorb to absorb its Skulls, and with Freeze Dry, Milotic's definitely going to lose in a one-on-one match with the bulky waters.
Oh, that's true, especially since Freeze Dry does super effective damage to resisted Pokemon.
Shame that Gavin had to bring Milotic in so late. If
Milotic
was sitting there when Salamence came in, things were probably really different, but right now I can't help but see Milotic as nothing more than a burden, really. Giga Impact going to come off. Rather surprised to see that Giga Impact is able to actually come off. Sucker Punching would have been an obvious play.
I would assume that maybe Gavin was over-predicting a bit. Maybe he thought that the Salamence would...
Icy Wind, decent choice here, I guess. We're going to see it take out Salamence anyway.
But if Lapras does go and take out Kangaskhan at this point, the Power Punch is not going to help here. Power Punch is totally not going to help.
It brings Kangaskhan to +1 attack, making it a bit more useful, I guess.
But Citrus Berry heals up Lapras, and if Lapras, all Lapras needs to do is take out the Kangaskhan. Admittedly, the question is whether it does that. Oh, it goes for the
Shirko comes out and it's going to connect with the Milotic. Further, I don't know, I wasn't really expecting to see this. I was expecting Lapras to win out against Milotic, but not in this manner. Quite an interesting set from Yoko there, not really what I expected to see after she reviewed the Paris song.
And now Yoko brings out her Infernape. That is definitely a very good matchup against Kangaskhan and Smeargle both.
Fake Out's going to come off into at least one of Gavin's Pokemon.
Admittedly, Kangaskhan is low HP. I think that would be the obvious choice.
Kangaskhan would be the more crucial threat here indeed. Smeargle doesn't really... is only going to be able to do so much against Lapras and Infernape. And Lapras and Infernape aren't exactly Pokemon you would want to transform into.
And it's not like the Kangaskhan, unless the Kangaskhan suddenly reveals Protect, which it doesn't. So I think Yoko probably has this game pretty much sealed up.
Kangaskhan's down, Infernape, reveals the Life Orb. I wasn't really expecting that. Smeargle goes for the Heal Pulse, which is not going to be able to come off. And with Perish Song now, I think that's game. I don't think Gavin's going to be able to take out all of Yoko's Pokemon in the next 3 turns.
Unless Gavin can somehow... I mean, Gavin might still try to transform into one or the other, but I think at this point it's pretty much a...
The way I see things, he's done for. There's no real way he's going to be able to come back.
I think
transforming into both Lapras or Infernape is just going to make him more vulnerable to Yoko's attacks.
And let's not forget the Hyper Beaming Choice Specs Porygon in the back.
Yep. Doesn't even need a Hyper Beam, in fact. Okay, Close Combat going to come off. That's going to bring Smeargle down into the red. Triggered Sash.
Yoko has this sealed very clearly.
Yeah, even if he does transform into Infernape now, it's not going to be able to do anything. Porygon Z is faster. What's he going to do, actually? It should be interesting to see.
Probably Dark Void.
Dark Void coming off onto Infernape, putting it to sleep. Regardless, with that timer, thanks to Perry Song, I don't think there's any way Gavin's pulling this off.
All Yoko needs to do is survive 3 turns, then she's won.
Quite a shame actually, because Gavin really had the last game locked up, but just threw it away with that turn, and
Yeah.
as a result, he has to go into a game 3,
And
which,
then
which he
Yoko
has no
read
chance
him
of fighting.
exactly. Yeah, Yoko seemed to know what his needs would be, and it's yes. I would say that in a way, this was a battle that was won before it was even fought.
I'm not sure actually. I feel like Gavin really should have taken this match, but this set rather, especially in the excellent position
Yes,
he put
with the
himself into game
the
2,
second
but
game.
chose to throw it away, and I don't know.
And
it's-
Yoko managed to recover.
Yeah, Yoko really was able to seize that, take advantage of the opportunity, which
Yes.
gave her the game instead.
I guess it goes to show that you shouldn't be too opportunistic. You shouldn't be trying to
Never
go and
get
get
too
the
complacent rather.
Yes, you shouldn't be trying to get +6 on your Kangaskhan or anything like that. Just take what you need and go for the win.
Well, with Tri Attack connecting on the Smeargle slash Inferno Hip, that's pretty much the set, and Yoko is gonna advance into the top 4.
Congratulations to her then.
Congratulations to Yoko, and decent show making by Gavin. Hope to see you next time. And well, that's it for this round. And soon we're gonna have Yoko up here for an interview, so don't go away just yet.
And here we are with the winner of our top 8 match, Yoko. Now, we saw that you were using a lot of hyper-offensive Pokemon, and your team wasn't exactly standard. Do you want to tell us more about what your team thought process, what the thought process was for building the team?
Oh, this team is one hit KO team. Just I use one hit KO moves, and last time use Harry songs. That's all.
So wait, we saw the Hyper Beam on the Sylveon, we saw the Hyper Beam on the Porygon Z, and we saw the Giga Impact from the Salamence. And the Sheer Cold on the Lapras. Does everything on your team doesn't have very high hit powered moves?
Yes.
Okay, so do you just go into this idea like, oh, I want to build a one-hit KO team and work around it, or do you have some other things that you're keeping in mind?
This team is actually a Japanese friend thought this team, and I just modify.
I see. Now, we saw that the second game you were about to lose when the Kangaskhan and the Smeargle was out, even though you had a 4-2 lead. What were you thinking then?
Second game, Kangaskhan.
Yeah.
Because Kangaskhan is so scary, so I just one hit KO.
Yes, I saw it. It was very amazing. Yeah, so I assume that you're going to go and continue. Actually, I'm quite surprised because with all these high-powered Pokemon and their health isn't very good. They're not very defensive. I'm surprised that you managed to that you went and led with Porygon and Sylveon, and your weaker Pokemon against Kangaskhan as compared to Metagross and Infernape?
How to say? My strategy is just faster than opponents. Use one-hit KO moves.
So you were just trying to take out the Kangaskhan before it did anything?
Yeah.
I see. Well, evidently it worked. Congratulations again for your win, and we'll see you probably in top 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.